Good evening, boys and girls, and thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Ricky Williams, and I am the author of The Magic of Dreams, and I'm here to do you a live reading tonight because I wanted the opportunity to put you girls and boys to bed, so I hope that's okay. So make sure you got your drinks ready, you've been to the toilet already and been to the bathroom, and you've got your favourite teddies, because let's face it, at bedtime we always love to have our favourite teddies. My girls had their favourite teddies as well. So shall we read? Absolutely. Okay, before we start, I need to know that you're ready to really believe in the magic of dreams. Are you sure you're ready? Okay, let's see as we go through, all right? So this book was written for my daughters, Nari and Nala, and their pictures are in the back of the book, and I'll show you that later, all right? So it says, to my beautiful daughters, Nari and Nala, you inspire me every day and bring light to my life. The world is a blank canvas. Go forth and create your future of greatness. To my dad, thank you for your unconditional support. I'm sorry this wasn't finished before you left us. This book is dedicated to you. I know you were looking down on us. So my daddy, my papa, he passed away. And so I wrote this book for him as much as I did for my children. So I hope you enjoy it tonight. So we're reading The Magic of Dreams. This story is about magic, but in order to take this magical journey, you have to believe. Do you believe in magic? This story starts in a magical land, not far from where you sit right now. In this magical place, there is a rare and beautiful flower which has the power to grant wishes. This flower is so beautiful to look at, it can only be found in the secret garden of Nari. Can you see the beautiful garden? And here is a fairy making a wish on a special flower, yeah? This flower was called Nala Liana, and it was filled with fairy dust. And when you blew on it, your wish would fly through the secret garden of Nari and into the magical forest. Now there was one more very special ingredient. You had to believe. You have to close your eyes and see your wish as if it had already been granted. Do you think you can do that? Shall we try together? So, close your eyes now. No peeking, no looking through. Now I want you to tell me, where are you? What can you see around you when your eyes are closed? You've got to use your imagination. Can you smell anything? Sometimes when I close my eyes, I can smell apple pie, or flowers, or lollies. So what can you smell? What do you see? When you close your eyes really tight, what do you see? I like to see unicorns. I don't know about you, but I like to see unicorns and fairies, yeah? And can you feel anything? Can you feel the wind, or is there a warm sun? Like, what can you feel? Think about it for a minute. Because when we close our eyes, it helps us to enhance all our senses. And we can hear, we can see, we can smell, we can taste, and we can always feel, yeah? So there's the garden. Okay, what happens next? So people from all over the kingdom would come to the garden and make a wish and blow on the flower to release the fairy dust into the air. The fairies would hear the twinkle of bells, and this would tell them someone had made a wish. The fairies would fly through the magical forest to collect the wishes and place them in a special jar. Then they would fly to the magical wishing tree. Now the wishing tree was so big, you couldn't even see the top. Its branches and leaves were further than the eye could see. The fairies would fly to the top and hang the wish on the tree. But remember, you must believe. Do you believe? Can you see all the animals around the tree and the fairy? She starts at the bottom and has to go all the way to the top. Can you imagine how high that would be? You'd be like a giant. One spring day, the woodcutter was wandering the forest looking for wood to build his family a home. The woodcutter came to the magical wishing tree and thought to himself, "This tree is so big, I could build my whole home from this tree before winter comes." Now, what the woodcutter didn't know was that the wishing tree was magical and it would lose its magic if he cut it down. The woodcutter set up his tools and started to work. The fairies saw what was happening and flew as fast as they could to the fairy queen. The woodcutter just doesn't know, does he? He doesn't know that it's magical. Let's see what they're going to do about it, yeah? The fairy queen called all the animals in the kingdom to see how they could speak to the woodcutter and tell him about the tree. The queen asked who would be the fastest. Who do you think out of all those animals could be the fastest? Yeah? What have we got there? We've got a lion, a bunny, a cheetah, a bear, a reindeer. What's that one there? Maybe a wolf, another little bunny, and a squirrel. I wonder which one of these would be the fastest. Shall we find out? Yeah? The cheetah stepped forward and said, "I am the fastest." The queen agreed, and the cheetah set off with his speed to speak with the woodcutter. Shall we see what happens? And look at the beautiful fairy queen. Isn't she gorgeous? Yeah? When the cheetah arrived at the magical wishing tree, the woodcutter had already made the first cut in the tree. The cheetah growled and tried to speak with the woodcutter, but he didn't understand him and ran off in fear of the cheetah. The cheetah returned to the queen and told her what had happened and that the tree was safe now. Do you think the tree's safe now? I wonder if the tree is safe. Shall we see? Yeah. The next day, the fairies saw the woodcutter return, oh dear, and raced back to the queen to tell her what was happening. Once again, the queen gathered all the animals of the kingdom. The queen asked who was the bravest in the kingdom. Now, out of all the animals we saw before, who do you think might be the bravest of them all? Shall we see? Yeah? The lion stepped forward and said, "I will speak to the woodcutter." Of course it's the lion, yeah? The queen agreed and the lion set off as fast as he could. Shall we see what happens? When he arrived at the magical wishing tree, he saw the woodcutter and let out an almighty roar. Can you roar like a lion? Roar! That's it, a nice big one. Yeah. The woodcutter was so shocked and frightened, he ran away. I think I would too if a lion roared at me. The lion returned to the queen and told her what had happened and that the tree was safe again. Do you think the tree's safe now that the lions roared at the woodcutter and the cheetah? Shall we see? The woodcutter wasn't gone though. He returned the very next day. I think he really wants that tree, huh? The fairies once again raced to the fairy queen to tell her the woodcutter had returned. The queen ordered the fairies to gather up the animals in the kingdom again. What are they going to do, huh? What are they going to do? So they're all starting to gather up. What can we do? It isn't working. All the animals agreed that it was time to call upon Jagan the Amazing. Now Jagan was a magical wizard who lived in the magic castle on the other side of the forest. The fairy queen agreed that they would all head to the castle and speak with Jagan the Amazing and ask for his help. Do you sometimes do that? When you don't know what to do or you're trying something new and you're not sure how to do it, do you ask for help? Because I know I do. If we can't do it, you've always got to ask for help, yeah? So they're doing the right thing, huh? So they set off straight away and arrived at the magic castle after a day's journey. They reached the castle tired and thirsty. Jagan was delighted when he saw his guests, but grew extremely worried as the Queen and the animals all shared the story of the woodcutter. When he heard of the terrible news, he told his friends he would set off right away to speak with the woodcutter. See, they went down the special lane to find his home, huh? Let's see if Jagan can sort this out, huh? So Jagan arrived at the magical wishing tree the following morning. He could see the woodcutter's camp and introduced himself. Good morning, woodcutter. My name is Jagan the Amazing. I live in the magic castle on the other side of the forest. The Queen Fairy and all the animals of the kingdom have asked me to speak with you. May I ask why you've chosen this tree for your wood? The woodcutter explained his need to build a home for his family before winter came. When the woodcutter learned of the magic of the wishing tree, he felt terrible. He didn't know, did he? Jagan explained to him that because he had already started cutting the tree, though, it was now very sick and needed to be healed. And the only way to heal the tree was with truly loving it and hugging it. I wonder what they mean. Would you like to meet Jagan? This is Jagan the Amazing, and you can see he's got a long rod, he's got long hair, and a beautiful robe, doesn't he? And here's our friend, Mr. Woodcutter. He's not a bad man, is he? No, he just didn't know. Shall we see if we can help him? Yeah? So Jagan and the woodcutter joined hands and wrapped their arms around the magical wishing tree and called out with all their hearts, "We love you, magical wishing tree. We're so grateful for all the amazing dreams and wishes you make come true. Please heal, and we promise to protect you always." I wonder if it will work. They watched the tree, but nothing happened. With great sadness, they looked at each other, unsure of what else they could do. The woodcutter then had an idea. What if all the animals in the kingdom surround us? Jagan agreed and called for his friends. Look, they're all going to work together as a team. Do you think sometimes when we want to do something, it's easier if others help us? It is, hey. Sometimes it's nice when we have other people to help us. Let's see if they fix the tree, huh? To the woodcutter's amazement, animals and fairies appeared from behind trees and rocks, and within minutes they were surrounded by a circle of animals from all over the kingdom. They tried again. "We love you, magical wishing tree. We're so grateful for all the amazing dreams and wishes you make come true. Please heal, and we promise to protect you always." Suddenly, the woodcutter felt a warmth on his body and a light so bright you could barely open your eyes. They stepped back and glanced at the magical wishing tree, and it glowed just like sunshine. A blanket of light and fairy dust covered the tree, and it glowed with life again. It had worked, and they'd saved the magical wishing tree, and it was healing. Isn't that amazing? Can you see all the light coming around? I bet if we closed our eyes, you'd be able to see it like you were also around the tree, huh? Maybe you could try that later. The woodcutter was so grateful and pleased that he was able to heal the tree, but he was also very disappointed, as he still had no wood to build his family a home. Jagan asked the woodcutter to follow him. I wonder why he's following him. Let's see, shall we? Jagan led the woodcutter to a magical secret garden. They started on their journey, and at the edge of the forest, the magician led the woodcutter through a small entrance in the bushes. He noticed a cave, and when they entered, he saw a light. Can you see the light through the cave? Yeah? They walked towards the light and entered the most magnificent garden you've ever seen. The colours were so bright and full of life. He felt so full of energy, it was like he bounced with every step. Now, do you remember what to do when we want to make a wish? I wonder if you remember. can see that he's saying, come with me, woodcutter. I'm going to show you. Yeah? He's a kind man, isn't he? All right. So, to make a wish, you have to believe, don't you? So you've got to believe first. I can have this. I can do anything I want. Yeah? So you need to close your eyes. So I want you to close your eyes now. No peeking. And I want you to see your wish as if it's already been granted. So you have to see it like you've already got it. Yeah? You with me? Now, the woodcutter closed his eyes and he saw his family's home at the edge of the woods. It was a cottage with little flower beds at the front. His children were playing with a ball at the front and laughter filled the air. He could smell yummy apple pie that his wife was freshly baking. The woodcutter wished with all his might and he blew the flower gently. Now, I want us to quickly do that together. So I want you to imagine you've got your wishing flower in your hand. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want to see your wish as if it's already there. Remember, you have to see it, you have to hear it, you have to smell what the smells are. And then we go, did you make your wish? Let's see if it comes true. Okay. Now, let's see if the woodcutter gets his cottage. His wish floated into the garden air and was caught by the wind and flew off into the magical forest. Now, do you remember what happens next? I wonder. That's right. The bells are ringing and the fairies swiftly collected it and placed it into a jar and flew it to the top of the magical wishing tree. The woodcutter thanked Jagan for his help and vowed to always protect the magical forest. Jagan reminded the woodcutter that in order for his wish to come true, he must truly believe. So there's the fairy showing him how to make a wish again, like we just did, huh? Yeah. Let's see what happens. The woodcutter then set off on his journey back to his family. It took him 3 days to reach the edge of the forest, and on the 3rd day, he could hear children's laughter fill the air. As he approached the edge of the forest, he noticed through the clearing that he could see smoke from a chimney. The woodcutter took a deep breath and he ran to reach his family. And do you know what he found? I wonder what he found, shall we see? Children laughing and playing, a safe home for his family, and the best apple pie that he had ever eaten. So dreams really do come true if you truly believe. So I want you to think of what would you dream and make a wish for, yeah? Because you can have anything you want and never let anyone tell you you can't, okay? I hope you enjoyed our story tonight. And just to finish, I want to share with you a photo with me and my 2 girls. This is Nari and this is Nala, and they are characters in the story. I wish you the very best sleep, and I hope that when you close your eyes, you see that wishing tree. And remember, anything you want can be taken to the top of the tree. Even if in your dreams tonight, you want to take a unicorn ride, or you want to fly on the clouds, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that, and it can be yours. Sweet dreams, everybody. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Good night.